God. Welcome to the host who never sleeps. Welcome back again, folks, to the show. I'm getting ready to steam the neck off this Gibson j45, and you saw in the last video of this guitar what the finish did around these cracks, around the fretboard extension. There was a bunch of cracks there. Heated this with an iron, and creates a little bit of moisture content, and that moisture content, what little bit it was, got in those cracks, and you saw what it did on the other video. And I'm going to bring the camera over here to show you one more time before I do this, because there are also cracks along the down the neck from the fretboard extension back down to the heel. There's little tiny cracks in there, just like the ones that was up here, not quite as bad. Now I'm thinking steam is going to it's going to be bad for this guitar's finish, because the finish is like that. And I'm afraid, even though I separated the finish along the heel up to the fretboard, steam's still going to get in there. And you know, it's all kind of madness I'm worried about what's going to happen with the finish when we do that. Let me get the camera and bring you over here and show you what it looks like now before we put steam on. Got the steam machine running. Woo! I can't find anything. And of course we got to get this water here up to 212 degrees. We're at 166 right now, 167. So it's coming up. It's just slow. We got to get that up to 212. That's the water boiling point. And then we're going to start trying to get this neck off here. But I want to show it to you first. So hold on. Give me the camera. Come here. So you can see here what the just a tiny little bit of moisture did. It got under there and on both sides. That side's not quite as bad, but like I said, I cut down in here. Where are we at? I cut all up in through here to loosen that on both sides, and there's the same kind of cracks down there too. So I'm just hoping that steam doesn't ruin the finish down in this area. We're going to find out just as soon as we get up to about 212 degrees or so. So I got to put some rags in here and get some rags and stuff, and I'll bring you back when we get ready. Another thing I wanted to mention is this guitar might be a second. Gibson made a bunch of seconds and released them as seconds because they had whatever wrong with them. You know, some little something that wasn't right or whatever reason. Usually they stamp on the back of the headstock a 2 if it's a second. Now this guitar, the finish is so thick on this guitar. Good God, I mean, it's like, I don't know how many coats they put on it, but the finish is so thick that you can't even read the serial number or tell if there's a second or a 2 on the back of the headstock, because they filled the indentations of the numbers, you know, where it was imprinted into the wood. They filled it up so full of finish you can't read it because the finish is so thick. So I don't know, but I think it's probably a second. I don't know. Who knows, man? The owner did mention something about just do the neck reset, and he might send the guitar back to Gibson and let Gibson refinish the entire guitar. That's what I would do. Because like I say, right now, those of you who've been around a long time, been subscribed to this channel a long time, you probably remember my airbrush exploding and got red paint all over the building up there. I got videos of it. Or videos of the aftermath. And since then my buffer motor's burned up, so I don't have an airbrush. Well, I've got a couple, but I wouldn't trust them for a job like this. I just trashed the whole buffer. I'm going to eventually buy a new buffer as soon as I get enough funds ahead to do that. But anyway, right now I don't have an airbrush I can trust. I don't have a buffer at all. And I told him, I said, you know, that'd probably be the best bet. I could fix this, but doing it by hand would take a lot longer, and it'd probably be, you know, wouldn't look as good as it would if you just stripped the whole thing and refinished the whole guitar. So he's thinking about sending it back to Gibson for that, and that would be my recommendation, because we're up to 194, so it ain't going to be long. That would be my recommendation. Send it to Gibson, let him refinish the whole thing, because you can never patch up a place like this and make it look right with the rest of the finish. Not perfectly. And finish has never been one of my big points. I mean, I would rather never fool with it, but I do it when I have the proper equipment. Right now I don't have, but we're getting close to boiling, so hold on. I can't see shit. Just hopefully the steam doesn't do too awfully much damage here. So you got steam going in one side and coming out the other hole I drilled, so that's working perfectly. Just the way we had intended it to work. Boy, she's hot. Woo! Woo! The boogity ball. A little bit of steam escaping the machine. I'm going to crank it down just a little bit. Ah, yes. Hold in there, old girl. She's not loosening up yet. Maybe a little bit. Figured that the neck would come off a lot easier because it was already loose. But who knows, man? Who freaking knows? Now we're getting loose. All I'm doing back here is just tightening the thing to put stress on the heel. It just puts slowly puts more stress on the heel in order to shove the neck up out of the joint. Oh my God! Welcome to the host who never sleeps. Get it! I had to take a break and cool off and examine things more. And folks, what I'm about to show you is probably going to be just as shocking to you as it was to me. We are dealing with the major off-center again, believe it or not. Just like the last guitar we reset the neck had off-center problems, this one's got it too. Unbelievable, man. I guess we'll start with the neck here. I got it off, and this is bad. Check this out. Look at this tenon right here. Okay? And you tell me if it's in the center of the fretboard or the center of the neck or not. If I can hold it still enough, you can see that tenon is way up this way. There's a lot more room here than there is here. Now granted, there is a shim there, but still you can look at the rest of the fretboard extension. And you can see that that tenon is not center. Okay? Now, this, get it where the light's hitting it good. This is what wood glue looks like, folks. See that? That is wood glue. All this down here, what's left of it, is wood glue, okay? Flop him over. What kind of glue does that look like to you? Right there. I can't see the camera for shit. I hope I hope you can see it. It looks like epoxy to me. I can tell you from experience, I've reset, well over 100 necks, probably very close, if not over 200 necks. And I can tell you with 100% assurance, this neck has never been taken off of this guitar. This is a factory job. And we're talking about Gibson. Gibson's work. Here you can see where my drill bits came through. Hit the pocket exactly dead on target. That was perfect. But like I say, the tin in here is off center. You can see it. Maybe if I held it like that you could see it better. Or maybe even like this. There, yeah, you can see that is not centered. Okay? It gets a lot worse. It gets a lot worse. So stay tuned here. The reason I didn't see this stuff before is because I couldn't see it. You know, I had to get it apart to be able to see it. Now, here's the good part, or the bad part rather. This is the worst. This is shit coming from Gibson. Even on a second guitar, if that's what this is. They offset the neck from center. And you can see, I'll show you here in a minute. You can see it plain as day. But I want to tell you about this. There's a cleat inside of this guitar. I didn't see it before. I don't know how I missed it, but it's the same type of wood. You can see and tell that it's also a factory job, and I'm going to show it to you. In fact, I'll turn the guitar around like so, and I'll come over there and get the camera, and I want to show you this cleat. So, hold on. Okay, give you some perspective here. Going down into the hole and looking up into the upper bout, right beside the neck block. See the neck block there? To the left of the neck block, you'll see a cleat. I don't know why I never noticed that before. If you look over here, you see there's none on that side. Only on the low E string side, you can see that cleat right there. I wonder why Gibson put a cleat in the guitar at the factory. Well, hold on, I'm going to show you. Give you some perspective again so you know how we're looking at the guitar. Wonder why they would put a cleat in there. Well, here's why they put a cleat in it. Look at this. This crack comes all the way up to right there. And it's not in the finish, it's in the guitar side. The neck block is cracked. If I lay the guitar down like so, you can see the neck block cracked here and on the inside. Dane Nichols said in a comment in another video of this guitar, he said he didn't see how that neck did that, how that dovetail joint let go without something breaking. And I said, I know, it's exactly my thoughts too. Something had to have broken to, you know, for that to happen. And well, it did. The neck block is broken all the way up through here. I doubt if you can see this without, but the whole block is broken from right here, right there's the crack, all the way up to the top. It's broken. There you can see my drill bit tracks. I'd like to know that bitch's initial right there. That person should be fired from Gibson. Anyways, it's cracked all the way up here on the inside there, and then it comes around and goes all the way up the fucking side. Man, unbelievable that Gibson will let something go. Now look at the dovetail joint. Look how much space there is here as opposed to here. Not centered, folks. I know exactly what they did. I know exactly what they did. The person that put this guitar together, they put the neck on it. They shaved the tenon to fit in that direction. Moved the neck over here to strengthen this area. They knew that crack was there. Gibson knew it. Whoever put the guitar together knew that crack was there. That's why it's got a cleat on the inside. Well, it didn't hold either. Whoever put the cleat in, you know, their cleat didn't hold, man. So when I started pressing this neck out of here, the cleat let go, and now we have that. So I can squeeze it together. Now I can fix all this shit. That's not the problem. There you can see more I don't know if it's Gorilla Glue or epoxy or what they use. That's not wood glue right there. This side is wood glue. Well, what's left of it. This is not wood glue, folks. Someone has used epoxy on there, and it was someone at the factory did this. And I don't know what kind of glue they used on the cleat, but if it's epoxy, you'll never get it out. But I don't need to take it out because it's loose anyway. What I got to do now, I got to check with the owner first, but I can fix this. I can pry this apart and get good wood glue in there all the way up through here where it's loose. That crack right, I wish I could hold the camera still and show you. The crack right here, you can see. As I squeeze the guitar, let me try this. Give you some perspective again. Okay, there we go. The crack in this very far back corner, I'm just going to squeeze the guitar a little bit. That's the neck block moving there, the dovetail joint itself. And then if you look on down here, you can see the crack there in it. Gibson knew this. Whoever assembled this guitar and put the finish on it, they knew that existed. And I'm just hoping they sold it as a second guitar and not anything less. I mean, you shouldn't even have to pay for something like that as a second. They should never let anything like this leave the factory. This just so pisses me off, man. Because then guys like me get a hold of it. And this is what happens. I guarantee it, anyone who pulled this neck off of here would have run into this same problem. If they knew what they were doing, knew what to look for. But yeah, the whole neck block is cracked. Up through here in that corner, and then around here, and around here. And like I say, Gibson knew it because they put a cleat inside of here. I showed it to you. If we come around here, and we look this way into the guitar, there she is. There's the cleat that they tried to patch it up with. Now this finish is the least of my problems right now. I can strip that off and make it look better, but holy shit. Now I got to put cleats all the way around here and get that back together. So anyways, wanted to show you that up close. And there again is a shot of the offset. The reason it had two shims on this side, that's another thing. They shaped that joint, the tenon, so they could move the entire neck that way, making more of a glue area over here. And they were trying to strengthen this, is what they were doing. They were trying to strengthen it, plus adding a cleat inside, but it didn't hold. That's the beginning of this guitar's problems. All this shit's been going on since it left the factory, before it left actually, and now you can see what we're up against. I mean, good God. Is that the kind of people Gibson employs? I mean, come on, man. Shit, look at that. Gibson knew it, folks. They knew it. They cleated it. They finished over it. They tried to cover it up and hide it. And it did not hold and hasn't held. I just hope whoever bought the guitar new did not pay the full price of even a second guitar. Wow. Anyways, I can fix it. I can make it a hell of a lot stronger than it was when it left the factory, and I will. After I talk to the owner, see what he wants to do. He's already getting some serious money into this thing. I can make it play like a brand new guitar again. As far as the looks, he may end up doing that, sending it to Gibson to get the entire thing refinished. Hold on, there's a little more. Now don't forget, we still have this problem. Remember that? Where the truss rod was cranked over tightened and it ripped the back of the neck out here. We still got that to fix too. But here you can see, like I said, there's one shim right there. That's on the high E side. Here's the other shim that was right on top of that one, like so. Both shims in there shoved the neck toward the high E side, which as you saw was not center. I cannot believe, man, that Gibson did this. And there's your epoxy or Gorilla Glue or whatever that crap is they used in there. What really surprises me is the guitar neck even stayed on it as long as it did without really doing a bunch of major damage. But it's done. I mean, it was just covered up. And it just blows me away to think that Gibson would, knowing that crack, knowing that that neck block was separated like that, they tried to fix it with epoxy or Gorilla Glue, one of the two. They finished over it, they finished right over the crack and put a cleat inside, a cleat that didn't hold, and they probably used Gorilla Glue on that. You'll probably never ever get that cleat out of there. It's not a problem, it's not holding anyway, because I can move this. Maybe you can see it better this way. See, it's moving from this crack here up. I can move the whole top down there. So, they knew it. They knew it. That's what pisses me. They knew it, man. And they put all those shims on the high E side to move the neck this way, to get that joint to fit as tight as they could on this side and make it as secure as they could. Finished over the crack, put a cleat in it, and sold the guitar like that. Even as a second, this is not acceptable at all. I do not agree with the way Gibson produced this guitar. And you know, it just makes me sick, man. Because all the guitars that have major, really screwed up problems seem to be the ones that find their way here. I mean, well, the last guitar wasn't a Gibson. It was a K guitar with a harmony guitar with a K neck. But it had real major funky problems, as does this one, now that I can see all this stuff. Just incredible. Unbelievable that Gibson would do that. So folks, when you buy a new guitar, I don't care if it's a Gibson, a Martin, a Santa Cruz, a Taylor, I don't care what it is. Get in there and look at that thing. Bend the neck, put some force on it, you know, watch for cracks or any splits to show up in the finish. That's why all these little cracks along the fretboard extension are there. That's why they were there. That neck had been moving all over the place, man. I'm surprised this crack that they cleated didn't open up long before I put steam on it. When the steam hit it, I mean, you know, that steam is powerful. I mean, that's when it opened up. When I put the steam on it, started pulling the neck. But that's just totally unacceptable. In my book, that Gibson should stand good for that. I am not a Gibson authorized repairman. Yeah, I don't know what they would say if you turned it into them, but they definitely should hear about this and know about it, and stop letting shit like that come out of their factory, for crying out loud. Anyways, I'm going to be making videos now. Oh, I got to talk to the owner first, of course. But I'm going to be, if he okays it, go ahead and start cleating this crack up. And it's going to be hard to see. I mean, you're going to see a crack there now in the finish, but at least the sides, you know, will be glued back together. And I guarantee you they will hold way better than this ever has. But I guess I'll talk to the owner and see what he wants to do. And if he wants me to go ahead and continue with it, I'll cleat this crack up here. I got to get glue inside here. There's no need to take that neck block out. I mean, I can open it up wide enough to get a lot of glue into that and then clamp it up good. It'll be stronger than it was even if it had never broke, because the glue won't separate. The glue joint will not separate. If it's done right, the wood will break or bust somewhere else besides the glue joint. So I can fix it and make it way better and stronger than it has ever been. And then cleat this crack around here, take care of all that, and then maybe figure out something to do with that finish to make it look better. Thought about putting lacquer thinner under here where that bubble is, and just let the lacquer thinner melt the finish that's there, and maybe trying to press it back down. I've done that before and was successful with it. Actually, you couldn't tell it. But I don't know, it'd be better just to remove all that loose finish and maybe spray it enough to seal it or coat it again. I'll talk to the owner and see what he wants to do. I would recommend just going ahead and sending it back to Gibson and let them refinish the entire guitar. And you know, after I get finished with the structural damage, if he refinishes it, it's going to be like a brand new guitar all over again. I mean, the frets are not wore on it. Very little bit of fret wear. But it's just a shame. It is a shame, man, that Gibson would let something leave their factory. Like, it just sickens me to see something like that and know from experience it came from the factory that way. Someone paid hard-earned bucks for that, and it's just unacceptable. And Gibson should know about it. I hope someone tells someone at Gibson to watch this video. I don't know, it's just terrible. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm rambling, I know I am. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, because if the owner wants to continue with this, we're going to get into a lot of work. Cheers, I guess, if you can call it, drink to that. Cheers. Hope to see you there.